Hey, it's David. Let's get some crash protection onto the bike so that what happened before doesn't happen again. Right, since the handlebar installation, I've put on the remaining plastic panels that needed to be put on. I haven't done them all, to be frank. I mean, there's a little bit of damage up here. There's a little bit of damage on the headlight mask. Those are two panels that I could have replaced, but I chose not to. And the reason for that is quite simple. I bought this bike, which is a crash bike, for many reasons, but one of the reasons was that I want a bike that I'm not going to be precious about. I want to be able to use this bike, I want to be able to ride it as I want to without worrying about scratching it. And as a result, there's a very good chance, well, more than a very good chance, I'm going to drop this bike more than once. So if I'm going to worry about, if I drop this bike, it's going to get scratched, pointless, completely pointless. But I don't want to trash the bike either, like it got trashed last time. So what I want to do is to start thinking about the protection that I need to put on the bike to stop that sort of damage happening again. Now, that's a bit of a long-term project, but what I have done is I've been on eBay and I've bought a couple of bits that I'm going to bolt on. So the first parts I bought, I've already bolted on, which are these crash bungs here. Now, these are Powerparts crash bungs. That's the KTM product. The sort of their bolt-on range, if you aren't familiar with it. Now, these are not my ideal bungs. I want some slightly different ones because I think these are too short. I don't think they're going to do the job that I want them to do. But for now, there's something, and they were quite cheap. So what they do is they protect this part, the actual fork lowers, so that these scratches here wouldn't have happened if these had been fitted by the previous owner. So there's one there, and there's another one there on the other side. Now, what I've also bought is an engine cage. Now, again, this is a Powerparts product. They simply bolt on here. So that comes up there, that goes to there, that goes to there. So there's two engine mounts. It utilises, I think, the bottom front engine mount and the mount that bolts on. I could be wrong. It could be the rear engine mount. I haven't actually dug into this frame to see exactly what bolts on where, but it also is the mounting point for the gear change foot peg unit. So that simply bolts on there like that, and there's one bolts exactly the same on the other side. Now, it should be a very simple install, so we'll find out. But before I do that, no, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to tell you why I'm not a fan of this particular crash cage after I've bolted it on. There are some really good points about it. It's a 3-point mounting, which means that any load is going to get spread once this hits the deck. If it's you can get just sort of single mount things, but they're not going to do anything at all. All they're going to do is they're going to bend when you hit the road, and they're going to bend the frame mounting with them when you go down. So 3 points spreads the load, and I've already tested this on damage when I dropped that last winter, and the crash cage survived perfectly. It got ground down by the tarmac, which I've repaired since, but it survived and it didn't bend the frame. So let's get these bolted on. Now, the way these work is the top mount, which has a point in the frame which I guess has been specially designed to take these, has I think that's an M6 bolt goes into it. These two lugs here and here are threaded, so there are through bolts which go through the frame and pick these up. So there's a short bolt in the front and a long bolt at the back, and on this side you've got the same M6 I think bolt there, and these are just sleeved So these are just sleeved, so the bolt just goes through and screws at the other end. So the first thing we need to do is to remove the two existing engine mounts. Before I do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stand under the engine just to take any weight. Right, so just taking the weight off the engine, and we can adjust that as we go along if I find these bolts are coming under stress. The rear and the front engine mountings are both 14mm bolts, so they bolt in from this end. There's a bolt running that way, and there are 14mm nuts on the other end. So let's whip these out. It appears there's a bit more crash damage than I thought. That engine mounting has snapped cleanly in two, and I can only assume it snapped on this side because it's received a whack from the other side. I'm going to carry on with the install and just tag this back into place, and when I get the new engine mount in, I'll just swap it all out. But better I found out now, because I had no idea that was going to happen at all. And certainly I didn't see any cracks in it, but just goes to show. So, is the frame bent? But it's hard to tell at this point in time. What I can do is, given this is a KTM part, I can use this as a jig, because this should fit perfectly into place. So let's carry on with this and see if it all comes back as it should. So let's remove this. It's a little bit corroded in there. I mean, this bike isn't that old. That's a bit, well, but that's the problem with these Indian bikes, is that the quality on these is not as good as the more expensive KTMs. Right, let's see what we can do to rebuild it. Now, in this case, this bolts onto here. Like so. So let's get this bolt in, and that can be held roughly in place. So this is a little 8mm bolt. Let's get started. Now, I'm not feeling overly confident about this, given that we appear to have an issue at the front here. So let's just slip these in and see where it takes us. Alright, let's just get this upper bolt started. Now I'm going to put this broken bracket in just as a spacer. Now the long bolt has a spacer that goes in this end. Right, now the threads are captive in the other end. Oh, that one's a bit bigger. Here's be a 17. Let's just check what's going on around the other side. Right, so thread's coming through at the back here on the other side. That's engaging, that looks good. And I can see the thread in there, probably won't show up on camera. So let's run those in. Right, so that thread is coming through. That's firmly fixed in there, so I'm going to carry on screwing that in. Right, so that is now fully home. Right, front one's not going in, so let's back off the rear one. And back off the top. Right, let's just back off this top mount here, allow these to float a bit. So the front mount of the three hadn't actually caught properly because I twisted it by putting too much torque on the other two mounts. I thought the front one had caught, and that's why I was okay to clamp down the others, but it hadn't in fact. Now it has. Now I can actually clamp these all down slowly and evenly so that it mounts, and we'll find out, well, I guess we won't find out where the frame is bent until I get a new engine mount and see whether it fits or not. So that we'll have to wait for. Right, so now let's get these all gently torqued down. Got that slack. That one's there. That one's coming up on torque. Just snug down the top bolt. Go do the same on the other side. And get these snug down. Now, let's go back this one off a little bit so I can get my engine mounting to sit in place. If this sits in place in a natural looking position, I can have some confidence that the engine hasn't moved, or the frame hasn't moved, but in actual fact there's quite a gap there, but I don't know if that's because this has bent. So we'll order up a new engine mount and we'll find out whether or not the frame is bent. So the crash bars are fitted, at least for now. The bolts need to be torqued up, but I'm not going to do that now, simply because they've got to come back off again in order for me to replace the engine mount on the other side. But it's a simple enough job, and it'll only take a couple of minutes to do once that new engine mounting bracket arrives, assuming of course that it fits, but that's for another day. Now, I did say that there was something I didn't like about these, and it's this. The problem is that this is an engine case guard. That's what it's designed for, and it does a good job of protecting the engine cases here from the road. And there's gravel rash on this case. It's quite bad. But again, I'm not going to be trying to change it, because, as I say, it'll just make me precious about the bike. The problem here is at the top. Aside from that very flimsy mounting, there's a tiny little M6 bolt into here, which I'm not overly convinced about. But the big problem here is the radiator. When this bike went down last time, it took out this radiator, or this side of the radiator, because it got smashed in. Well, this hasn't changed anything, I don't think, on that. The chances are, if this bike goes down hard on the side again, it's going to take this radiator out. So I think this is a bit of a poor design. I have seen another set of crash bars which are a modified set of these, which actually compensate and bring it out so that there's some protection for the radiator. Now, I probably won't be able to afford to buy those, but I might consider what I can do to make something, change these so that it does what I want. So with this done as much as I can at this point in time, thanks very much for coming along and discovering the issues that go with fitting things on a bike, and I will catch you guys again soon.